Hey, Caesar.
Yeah.
You have MS on your monitor?
Yeah, I do.
You're fine. I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. All right, good.
We just put it on all the time. There's nobody in there.
No, I know, but then we were like, well, it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I set it up in case it's huge, but it's not huge. I have it set up.
It is set up?
Well,
You have the dongle.
We don't, and unfortunately, Neil, whenever you get sort of an overhead announcement like this, it lends itself to speculation. Clearly, this could be a chance for White House officials to acknowledge the new leadership on Capitol Hill. It could certainly be a personnel announcement, which wouldn't surprise anyone in this room, because as you know, after the first couple of years, you tend to have a great deal of turnover. But without over-speculating, I think it's safest and smartest, quite frankly, to simply wait this out. We will find out together in a couple of minutes. I should add this. Given the government shutdown and given the ongoing negotiations between leaders here at the White House and those on Capitol Hill, it would not surprise me to hear Sarah Sanders, if she steps here to the podium shortly, to address that as well. But again, your guess is as good as mine is right now. Yep. Yes, he does.
one time.
Yeah, they certainly have.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I gotta
6,
tell you,
7,
I
8, 9,
asked the
10.
president a couple of questions about that yesterday, and in fact, as we were leaving the cabinet meeting yesterday, I said, what are you gonna do about those markets? And he said emphatically that he felt like they would be simply fine. He said, listen, we're working on a number of trade deals, Neil, as you and I have discussed on a number of occasions, and so the feeling here is, once those deals get over the finish line, the market will respond. That said, given what's happening with the trade, let's call it a dust-up with China, I don't want to call it a trade war necessarily, but given the ongoing trade dispute with China, and seeing what's happening to
Hey, Hogan, question for
I
you.
don't think
Who is
there's
this
any
gonna
challenge.
be? Who is this gonna be?
Keeping a very close
Sarah's
eye
here?
on. Maybe they talked about that, although it's still anyone's guess, yeah.
It's not anybody else? Sarah. Just Sarah or Sarah, any guess?
Brianna, that's a great question. This is not something that's on the White House schedule today. They did not give much of a heads up. Yeah, that sounds good.
Supposedly we're inside it too.
Announcing that there was a press briefing of the press secretary, Sarah Sanders, in about 5 minutes. Now we're sitting here waiting in the briefing room, waiting for Sarah Sanders to come out. Of course, these briefings are not typical these days, and there have not been many held. It will certainly be the first one this year, but there were not many in November or December either. So that's what essentially everyone is waiting on. But of course, one of the biggest topics that will come up is going to be that government shutdown and what's been going on with that. We haven't heard from President Trump much today, just a little bit on Twitter, but we have not seen him here in the White House, even though the Vice President Mike Pence was on Capitol Hill earlier today, swearing in those new members of the Senate, as you saw on camera earlier when that was playing out. But a lot of the questions are going to revolve around how much closer are we to coming to a compromise between the White House and Democrats to reopen the government. Those talks here yesterday in the situation largely went nowhere, according to people who were in the room, and so that is really going to be the question: have we made any progress with that? And have we gone any further? Now, Brianna, the president largely spent the Christmas holiday here at the White House virtually alone, and that was pretty evident yesterday by that cabinet meeting where the cameras came in, and that meeting went for almost 2 hours with the president talking, going around the room, and then taking questions from reporters at the end. So we'll see what he has to say, or what his spokesperson has to say when she comes out here in a little bit.
All right, Sport, go ahead. All right, Sport, go ahead.
And that is probably something intentional by the White House, because as we've heard from the president and his aides in recent days, they've been trying to say that Democrats didn't want to come to a compromise to reopen the government because Nancy Pelosi wanted to make sure she could secure the votes to become House Speaker, even though she was running unchallenged. And then we saw the president shift the message a little bit today when he was blaming it on the politics of the upcoming 2020 presidential election, even though, of course, that's still a ways off.
House officials we've talked to, including Kellyanne Conway and Mercedes Schlatt today, have not nailed down a number that the president would be comfortable with to reopen his government. So if Sanders does come out here, that is obviously going to be a question folks will want to ask. I'll tell you, I covered this administration since day one. I don't think I've ever seen a briefing room this empty, and I think that speaks to the nature of just how impromptu this was. We were told that this would happen in 5 minutes about 15 minutes ago, and then since then have gotten a series of take 2 minutes, a couple minutes, pretty soon. So we expect some action, hopefully in the next couple of minutes here. Again, this has been a day dominated by Speaker Nancy Pelosi in that exclusive interview with Savannah Guthrie. She talked about being open to the possibility of impeachment, and perhaps that is something that the White House feels they want to respond to today, in addition to everything related to the shutdown. I gotta tell you, Vice President Pence was out on the Hill too, and in a rare moment, he does not usually stop and talk with the cameras, but he chose to do just that today, willingly walk over and talk with our team over there about what he wants to see in order to end this shutdown. We do understand that lawmakers have been invited and have accepted the invitation to come to the White House tomorrow morning. That's gonna be right around 11:30. We're sort of round two after yesterday's round and circles conversation between these key lawmakers and President Trump. No resolution on a shutdown yet as it stretches now into, day 14 tomorrow, right? And we'll hit that dubious milestone of 2 weeks in a matter of 24 hours. At this point, it's a new Congress, it's a new political reality for the president, and it is a real question mark as to whether or not this government will reopen after this partial shutdown anytime before the weekend. Yeah, I think just before, pardon me for checking my phone and my emails here, right before you tossed me, I think we saw a note from our Hill team, and I'm just trying to scroll to find that now, and I think that we will see, yes, Nancy Pelosi at the White House tomorrow, so she will definitely be here. That'll be the first time the president will come face to face with Speaker Pelosi, right, rather than Speaker Designate Pelosi. She will have had the gavel in her hand at that point, and the president, based on our reporting, according to multiple sources, who were familiar with the discussions yesterday, the president had said at the end of that meeting, listen, everybody's paused, come back after leadership elections. After that is over, perhaps the thinking was, from the White House perspective, they would make more progress at that point. So we do know that at least Pelosi will be here meeting with the president, the vice president, and that negotiating team, which has also been led by Mick Mulvaney, who's been around. He was over there on the Hill today for the swearing in, as well as Jared Kushner.
Can you hear them?
Robert, Liverpool scores, switch 1-1. Firmino. You think you can cover on the monitor in front there? Sure. Robertson, he's right up there. I'm just gonna bring the program one day. Back to you. We got a yellow card. Playing with 10 minutes.
Here we go.
Good afternoon. Give a few of my friends a minute to get in. Thank you all for coming on short notice, and certainly Happy New Year. Welcome back. It's good to be back. We're going to kick 2019 off just slightly differently, and I'd like to welcome a very special guest for an appearance here in the briefing room, our very great President Donald J. Trump.
Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful place. I haven't seen it. Beautiful place. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I just want to start off by congratulating Nancy Pelosi on being elected Speaker of the House. It's a very, very great achievement. And hopefully we're going to work together and we're going to get lots of things done like infrastructure and so much more. I know they want to do that very badly, so do I. So hopefully we're going to have a lot of things that we can get done together. And I think it's actually going to work out. I think it'll be a little bit different than a lot of people are thinking. So I congratulate Nancy. Tremendous, tremendous achievement. And I just wanted to explain to folks that I'm with on the dais, people I've known very well over the last 2 years, people that have been extremely supportive of what we're doing on the border. They're tough, they're smart, they think, they love our country, they have every quality, and I'll tell you what, I really know them well, and they have the kind of qualities that we need in our country, and they've done a fantastic job at the border. It's ICE and it's Border Patrol, and a man who's really become a friend in a sense, Brandon, I will say this, Brandon Judd has been a stalwart in terms of justice for people, in terms of fairness, and in terms of the toughness you need. You have some pretty tough situations. It doesn't get much tougher. So I just want to thank Brandon and all of the folks. I'm going to have them introduce themselves right now and also say a few words about the wall, about, you can call it a barrier, you can call it whatever you want, but essentially we need protection in our country. We're going to make it good. The people of our country want it. I have never had so much support as I have in the last week over my stance for border security, for border control, and for, frankly, the wall or the barrier. I have never had anything like it in terms of calls coming in terms of people writing in and tweeting and doing whatever they have to do. I've never had this much support, and we've done some things that, as you know, have been very popular. So I'm going to ask Brandon Judd to just step forward and say a few words. This group has apprehended last year 17,000 criminals trying to get across the border. 17,000. And that's one category. There are plenty of others. The other thing that has been so incredible is what they've done in terms of drugs and stopping drugs. And with that, and with everything else, plenty, unfortunately, come through our southern border. But I'm going to ask Brandon to come up, say a few words, and maybe introduce our friends and some very brave people. Brandon, please. Thank you.
Thank you, President.
Thank
we
you.
really
Thank
appreciate
you.
all the support that you've given the Border Patrol. We appreciate the support that you've given ICE. My name is Brandon Judd. I'm the president of the National Border Patrol Council. I've been a Border Patrol agent for 21 years. I can personally tell you from the work that I have done on the southwest border that physical barriers, that walls actually work. You hear a lot of talk from the expert that there are experts that say that walls don't work. I promise you that if you interview Border Patrol agents, they will tell you that walls work. I worked in Naco, Arizona for 10 years. We didn't have physical barriers in Naco, and illegal immigration and drug smuggling was absolutely out of control. We built those walls, those physical barriers, and illegal immigration dropped exponentially. Anywhere that you look where we have built walls, they have worked. They have been an absolute necessity for Border Patrol agents in securing the border. We need those physical barriers, and we appreciate President Trump and all of his efforts in getting us those physical barriers. There's also a lot of talk on this shutdown that federal employees do not agree with the shutdown. I will tell you that's not true. And with that, I'd like to introduce Art Del Cueto. He is the Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council. He's also a longtime Border Patrol agent out of the Tucson sector, and he'd like to say a few words about the shutdown.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Once again, my name is Art Del Cueto. I am a Vice President with the National Border Patrol Council. And I want everybody to take the time to understand what's going on. We are all affected by this shutdown. We have skin in the game. However, it comes down to border security. And we are extremely grateful to President Trump, and we fully support what he is doing to take care of our nation's borders, to take care of the future of this United States. It has nothing to do with political parties. You all got to ask yourself this question. If I come to your home, do you want me to knock on the front door, or do you want me to climb through that window? We fully support the president and all his efforts to secure our nation's borders.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hector Garza. I'm the Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council. I am also a Border Patrol agent of the Texas border. I just want to talk about some of those criminals that Border Patrol agents apprehend on a daily basis. We're talking about murderers, rapists, people that commit very serious crimes in this country. ICE has been doing an amazing job in deporting a lot of these people back to their countries. Unfortunately, once we deport these people will not stay in their country. These criminal aliens that have been released from jail, that have been deported, will come right back into the United States. However, if we had a physical barrier, if we had a wall, we would be able to stop that. Again, we want to thank President Trump for advocating for Border Patrol agents. And again, we ask our congressmen to fund border security and fund the border wall. Thank you.
So this meeting was set up a long time ago. It just came at a very opportune time, and I thought we were all sitting in the Oval Office working on different plans and different ways of stopping the problems that we have in our country. And other countries have problems, but nobody like ours. The economy makes it even more so. The economy is bringing people in because we're doing so well with the economy. Unemployment is now 3.7%, and that's among the lowest we've ever had, lowest in 50 years. And among certain groups, it's the lowest historically. So I just appreciate them being here. I said, let's go out, see the press. You can tell them about the importance of the wall. They basically said, and I think I can take the word basically out, without a wall, you cannot have border security. Without a very strong form of barrier, call it what you will, but without a wall, you cannot have border security. It won't work. You see what's just been put out on social media where thousands of people are rushing the border. Having a drone fly overhead, and I think nobody knows much more about technology, this type of technology certainly, than I do. Having drones and various other forms of sensors, they're all fine, but they're not going to stop the problems that this country has. We've never had more people wanting to come to the United States, and that has to do with the economy and has to do with a lot of other things. We're doing great as a country, but the better we do, the more people want to come in. So, folks, I just want to thank you very much. It's an honor to be with you, and I'm glad you came. I'm glad we came out here. And first time I've ever done this is the first time I've done it. I've done it for you, and I'm very proud of that because you have done a fantastic job. And I want to thank you all. Chris, thank you very much. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Are you not taking any questions at all?
The point of the briefing room is to take questions. Bill Shine, will there be no questions from the White House today?
Told you there's no place to go.
I'm here. Okay, camera. I don't know where. Rod?